I'm Wendy Sims-Moten, and I'm running for re-election for the Santa Barbara Unified School District Board. I'm running again because I had 4 years of being on this board and looking how important it is for education and making sure we have equity and that our students have a good environment about learning about themselves and ready to go out into the world. And so in the midst of this pandemic, it has said we've got 4 more years, we've got still work we got to do, and we had to kind of halt that in the middle of that. So I'm running to make sure that I can continue to supporting equity in education, making sure that our kids are learning early, aligning early with education, making sure that we have fiscal sustainability to make sure that the teachers and the students have the resources to continue to be learning, and to also to make sure that we're increasing parent engagement and student voice. That's really, really important. You know, coming on this board in 4 years, there hadn't been an African American on this board for almost 53 years, and so a lot of times in the data, I saw that a lot of our smaller numbers of students were put in other categories. And I wanted to make sure that everybody was able to see every percentage of all of our students so they're recognized. And so if there are needs that need to be attended to, I want to make sure everyone's there and they're just not clumped with everyone else. And so I've done that to make sure that we don't just other folks, we want to make sure we see everybody in their percentage, no matter what their percentage is, we're able to see who they are in our district. Along with also making sure fiscal sustainability, that's something that I'm really important to make sure that we have resources not for the moment, but in future moments. So as we had a growing deficit, about $11 million, we worked really hard. I worked with our administrator, our superintendent, to make sure we reduced that down to about $5 million in terms of a deficit, to make sure that we had enough money, and not only that cloudy moment, but also in rainy day moments, in farther moments, such as where we are in COVID right now. We have a good reserve to be able to help us through this piece. Also, along with the board members, made sure that we had a sustainable. We did a climate change resolution that we did. We also passed a resolution with regard to Santa Barbara Youth Black demands in terms of making sure they're able to see themselves in this district, see the district, and that the district personnel represent who they are. You able to see it in our teachers, in our policies, and in our processes. So that was an important part of doing that piece and making sure that we're engaging parents in a much more engaging way. Parents that don't necessarily are interacting with the district, I push to make sure that whatever outreach is necessary to bring in those parents, I push to make sure that that's happening. So we begin to see there are different approaches to making sure that all parents are able to be engaged and be welcome in our processes. Along with make sure that, I was very proud of the fact that we now have one of the first districts to be able to make sure that ethnic studies is a graduation requirement. That's really important. Again, we want to make sure all students see themselves in this district. In the next 4 years, we want to make sure, first of all, we want to make sure that our kids are safely and healthily returned back to in-person learning. That's a really crucial piece, and so health and safety is really crucial with regards to our students and our personnel. So we're continuing to work on that and refine those processes so we're ready in any time that we might have to make a change or, there's a disaster, we're ready to go. So we've improved those processes and also making sure that we improve and understand the disparities that were illuminated in this COVID with regards to distance learning and our students who are not, in a pivotal place to learn or in a prime place to learn. And so it's important to make sure that we're looking at the disparities despite being in a COVID or any emergency. How are we learning? How are those learning gaps being addressed? All the time looking at that. I'll continue to make sure that we have the fiscal resources that is needed. We'll leave no fiscal stone unturned to make sure that we're able to get the dollars that we need. And I also want to just appreciate and say again how much I appreciate how generous this community is with regards to helping us, with fiscal matters. There's donations that we appreciate and approve at our board meetings, and so I really want to appreciate that, continue to have that relationship there. I also, again, want to continue to make sure that we have equity. We're looking through a lens to make sure the kids have what they need, where they are, meeting them where they are. Our mission is to say we're going to prepare a world that's yet to be created. We can't do that unless we're looking at meeting everybody where they are, giving them the resources to make sure they have a good start, and we have a level starting place with regards to that. Continue to push for student voice, continue to push for parent engagement, how critical that is for our students and for our board to hear input. And so much, if you've heard over the last few months, we've heard a lot of student voice and really have illuminated what they think and how important it is for us to listen, because they're the closely impacted by the decisions that we make. So I'll continue to push for those things, mostly in equity. If we're looking through things in an equitable way, then everybody would have that good start from a place and reach the potential I know that they have. Well, first off, I'm here, and I've been here for these now almost 4 years, and I'm a CEO of First Five and working with education, how crucial it is to make sure learning is early. How do we make sure we support parents as their child's first teacher? I'm here to do that. I have the fiscal experience to do it, to look at it. And it's important to know, you know, that in the relationships that we have with the district, understanding the characteristics of the district, and the experience will help us get through this time that we're in right now, prepare us for moments to come, and continue to keep focusing on what are the needs of our students, how do we meet them where they are, how do we engage the parents to better understand what the kids are doing. I'm here now. I want to be here for another 4 years to be able to do that and bring that experience, bring that commitment, and I bring those fiscal places. I work with business manager for First Five, understanding decreasing revenue, how to manage that, how to sustain that. So I'm here, I'm ready, and I'm ready for another 4 years.